Hello. Don't know if anyone's here yet. I am going to be doing some leather work. I will have the camera on shortly. I am setting up my work area a little bit before I turn on the camera. It's been a slow going day today. Did not get moving when I wanted to, but that's okay. It'll be okay. I hope everybody is having a good Saturday. Mine is a lazy Saturday. I stayed up too late last night. Hi, Cousin Sue. How are you today? See, Lisa has me saying it the way she says it. Cousin Sue. I hope you're doing well today, Sue. I am trying to find the app that shows my camera area so I know that I've got my work area set up right. Ah, hi, MZ. How are you today? I'm behind about a week on making this hat, so I thought I should get myself motivated and just get it done. I have not worked on it like I should have the last few days. I blame Robbie that I didn't work on it last night because he kept putting real pretty stuff up and I kept typing the word claim. Oh, first time you've gotten notification for one of my lives. Cool. I'm going to try to start streaming a little bit more. I need to get in the habit of doing that because it seems people like to see what I do. I don't need my filler. We're not going to be repairing leather today, so I don't need my filler. I am going to need hole punches, though. I just have to decide which ones work best for this pattern. Still missing one of mine. I'm thinking one of the kids threw it away. Yeah, Sue, that's how I feel about it. If I would have had the money, I could have claimed everything he had up there last night. Let me move my screens around so I can see better. And I only have one chat, so let me see if I can get this camera to work. Let me see if I've got it. It's backwards. Let me see if I can get it to flip my camera. This is my right or my left hand. That's better. And this is the right. Yeah. If it's the same way I see my hands, that makes my working a lot easier. Dang, Sue. I actually have them taking extra money out on mine because if I don't, the first year after my husband passed away, well, it was the first time I filed taxes without him. When my first husband passed away, they ate me alive, even though I had changed my tax status and they were pulling more taxes out at work. They weren't pulling out enough, and when I filed my taxes, they ate me alive. So I changed it where I dropped one of my, after I got married again and everything, but I changed it where I dropped one of my deductions and told them to take $100 out of each check. Or $100 a month, something like that. And it's the only thing that saved me, because if I didn't do that, they would be pulling even more money out. I'm going to show you this crazy leather this woman chose for this costume hat. It has a fake snake pattern on it. You can see the snake pattern. And it's this rainbow. And it's glittery. It's crazy. So this is it's regular leather, and then they, I guess, spray dye it or something, but they put some kind of coating on it. It's like this foily paper stuff. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's like a foil paper that they emboss onto the leather to give it that crazy color. I don't know what I think I'm gonna have a small piece left over, so I'll see what I'm gonna do with that. I might make some like little crazy keychains or something. I put this. This is the brim of the hat. I haven't cut it out or anything, but I made it where this snake piece goes down the center of the brim on top and bottom. There's one that goes down here. And so you can see I laid out the pattern piece on this one already because I had to glue it together. And you can see that yellow stripe in there. It's these the plastic cutting boards. That was from when I was working on a frog. You know, those flimsy plastic cutting boards? That's what this is. And I use it to make the brim stiffer to give it structure. Hey, Lisa. Woohoo, I have 3 people watching me today. I didn't know when I was going to, if I was going to come on or not. And then I got up and started moving around and stuff. And it's like, oh, I'll go on before and just watch the time. And then I'll get off before Rosie has hers and send people over to hers. Which are people that usually go to hers anyway, so. But I do use pattern pieces. I think I've said that before. And I just realized by me mirroring it so right is right and left is left, it makes all my words backwards, but that's okay. Lisa, did you see this leather that I'm working with? Hey, Stacy. Look at that leather. It's foil embossed leather that mimics a snake skin. Isn't that crazy? What I need to do is find approximately center. I'm trying to mark it where certain things will come up lined up with the snake pattern. I don't want it to just be on there willy-nilly. I want it on there with purpose. Because with this one, I want that snake pattern to be down the middle of this. So this like that center piece there, that I guess that would be like the belly of the snake. I want it to be down the center of the piece of the hat. And this is the piece that goes around. Goes around this way of the hat. So your brim is here on the hat. So it's part of the body of the hat. Oh, is MZ pulling a Tori and sending Lisa pictures and saying, hey, can you get me this? Because that I do that. I send Lisa pictures and ask her if she can acquire certain things. I never realized how much I work with my leather close to my body until I start doing this stuff and I pull it up against me. And it's like, you guys can't see that. This is like a boat captain's hat. Oh, what got me started on leatherworking? Never mind. That's not, what I read you and what you said are two different things. I've sewn since I was a little girl. I grew up in a house where if you wanted it and you couldn't always afford it, so you made it. And so making things was just part of my normal life. Learning how to make your own, do your own, make your own. That has always just been part of life. And then I've always liked leather things, and I've seen, it's like I saw a bag and I was like, hey, that's a kind of cool bag. Holy cow, I'm not paying $400 for that bag. I'll just get the stuff and make it myself. And it was a very simple design. And it was about 2 to 3 times more than I would be willing to pay for it. Also 2 to 3 times more than I would charge for it. And the next thing I know is I have leather coming in and I'm making things. Yeah. And then I'm making more things, and then I want to test another pattern. And then I decided I should probably sell some of the things I make. It would make my life easier. I am using my special marking pen. This one is specifically for doing leather work because you can mark on it and it'll start showing. I'll show that in a minute. You can see where it starts to mark it. And then if it was on the finished side of the leather, I could wet it when I was done. And these marks will rub out. But this is going to be hidden anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it's white and it shows up on black. And that's what matters for me. But these are specifically made. They're Choco Ace pen, and they are specifically made. You can put them on clothing as well, and then when you wash the clothes, the marking goes away. So it's great if you're doing leather crafting, any kind of crafting, and you need to line stuff up. Now I know there's a pin sticking out of the middle of this thing somewhere. There it is. Let me make sure that looks right when I... Yeah. And the reason why I'm marking it is because this is a really flimsy leather. And that means that when I go to make the hat, if this is going this way, the hat's not going to have any structure. It's just going to crunch. So I have now lost a whole piece of leather. I had this green that actually does not look bad with this. And so I wanted to make sure that I'm lining it up. So when I glue this together and put this nice soft suede piece in the front, and then I go to lay my pattern out, I can see to keep this line down the center of the pattern piece so that when I get done, my camera falls. Try that again. I have a magnetic bar that holds my camera in place, and it did not do well. But I want to make sure that this is down the center of this band, or as close as possible. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera off for a second so I can fix it. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm still working on getting my setup in a position that works great. Okay, I think that'll work. Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to make it where I move the camera down a little bit too, where this is down the center of the hat band. Thank you, Lisa. And it's like back to the story. When I wanted a crossbody bag, I wanted something cool and unusual. I don't want everything I have to be exactly like everything everybody else has. And I flipped the camera so let me see which way you're talking about. That way flipped. Let me see. Flipped that way? No, it's upside down. It's 360 turned. Yes, my top is my bottom and my bottom is my top. I don't know if it'll let me flip it that way. Let me see. I can fix this. Aha. Yes. It does the mirroring left to right, but this was flipped top to bottom, where when I put my hand here, it was showing up at the top of the screen. So yeah, it was kind of backwards. But yeah, so this is going to run across the hat this way. And on the brim, it's going to show up and down this way. And I keep seeing a mark on here. And I'm hoping it doesn't stay wherever it came from, because I can't see it on here, but I can see it on the camera. So I'm wondering if it's my marking pen. I'll have to wipe it down and see before I get too invested. But yeah, so I've got to glue this down, and now this gives me a line to go by to make sure that I've got that right. Let me get my pattern piece out of the way. So I made my crossbody bag that I made is Cayman crocodile. It is Cayman and cow. And Robbie wants me to make him one. Oh, this is going to be fun. Because I have to do this. I have to do this without marking the part that I want to keep unmarked. That Sharpie is not very sharp right now. This one doesn't have to be exactly precise, just precise enough for me to draw a line and line it up when I lay it out. A lot of your basic arts and crafts stuff goes into play. But I made my Cayman and cow crossbody bag, and then I had people start asking me about it, and what do I do to get something that you made? And so I decided it was time to actually start selling stuff, as just not just making it, which is good because my house was getting overrun with stuff I was making and not doing anything with. And so now I've got the two lines, and as I glue it, I can set those lines together as I work. And it's trying to lay it where I can figure out the best method of doing this. Get this one started. And then I'll flip it around to go the other way. Gluing is so much fun. So it does take basic arts and crafts to do this, but yeah. I'm going to do one of those glue as you go pieces. So I'm going to glue it to about here. On pieces that I'm going to be sewing, the glue I use is only a water-based glue. Which means I don't have to be in a well-ventilated area or get high. It does seem like I got some glue under the edge last night, though. It's not unscrewing. There it goes. Yeah. The worst thing in the world is when this glue gets in here. It gets in these threads. And then it basically glues it closed. So I'll clean out all that gunk. Usually I have a thing of Vaseline in here, and I'll put Vaseline around the edges of the threads, which I do not know where my Vaseline is, so I'm going to cheat and use a leather conditioner instead, which will serve the same purpose. Because glue will not stick to it. If I get glue on the threads, this will stop it from gluing the bottle closed. And it's leather conditioner, so it won't hurt leather. I need my little container. Reusable takeout containers come in handy. I use them in my craft area all the time. That way I don't have to buy special glue containers or whatever. I just use those freebie containers they give you there's an authentic Chinese restaurant we order from. Their takeout containers are all over my craft area. Now, as that dries, it'll make it easier for me to see my lines on there. Right there to dry. I think Lisa's familiar with this concept of it's paper towels and baby wipes. It seems like that's like a staple in the craft area these days. Keep stopping to read. You've heard the expression, it's like watching paint dry. Well, part of leather crafting is watching glue dry. This glue works best if you put it on both pieces and you let it partially dry. Who else came in here? Hi, Britta. Yeah, so I can tell you guys some of the drama from the vehicle, from the guy's vehicle that hit mine. So the guy's Explorer rolled down the hill, crossed the road, jumped the curb, slammed into mine. Damaged my Tahoe pretty bad, about $14,000 worth of damage. Pushed my Tahoe into my husband's car and did another like $2,000 to $3,000 damage on his car. The guy doesn't have insurance, and I found out why yesterday. He bought the Explorer 5 years ago, and he never transferred the title to his name. He is under the mistaken impression that if I file the claim under my uninsured motorist to get the Tahoe fixed, that they'll just fix it. And the only thing that has to be paid out of pocket is the deductible. What he was not informed of is that they're going to go after the registered owner of the vehicle to get the rest of the money. That means they're going to go after the person he bought the car from. And they're going to have to sue him. And the insurance adjuster told me, don't worry about it. Don't think about it. It's not your problem. It is his problem. Because they're going to come up and show that they sold the vehicle. I'm already waiting for him to get caught driving it because he is still driving this untagged unsafe to drive auto on the streets around here. I just put glue on my fingers. But I'm not saying anything to him until after he pays the deductible to get my car fixed, and he pays to get Jeff's car fixed. Because I'm not putting Jeff's car on the insurance. I'm not filing a dual claim. Again, because I think he should come out of pocket. Because I'm just like that. I'm hateful or something. Yeah, that'll work because that's going to put that inside. So this will be on the inside. It's a suede. It's not really suede. It's called nubuck. So it's like a lot of the Timberland boots that really soft. No, there's actually it's a no fault situation, Stacy, because he was in his house and I was in my house when it happened. So there's a no fault situation when it comes to the collision. Now, can the police do anything when yeah, they'll probably come get him when or file papers on give him papers when he gets the paperwork from when he gets sued, because either the prior owner is going to have to sue him or they're going to have to prove who they sold it to, and my insurance company is going to go after him. Either way, not my problem. My Tahoe is going to be fixed. I take it in a week from Monday. So on the 20th, shop's been kind of busy. So on the 20th, I take it in to the shop to start the process of repairs. I purposefully picked the Chevrolet dealership I work with, which is where I automatically take my car anyway. That way I can also get them to go ahead and do the oil change and tune up in the process of it all. But included in all this mess is going to be a full alignment on the car, because I told the guy that I'm pretty sure his automobile slamming into my automobile has knocked mine out of alignment, which had perfect alignment. Since I got the Tahoe, I've made sure I've taken really good care of it. You know how you get that one vehicle that you fall in love with, and you make sure that it goes to the shop every time it's due. So you get your oil changed and your tune-ups and everything done on time. It's not like the work vehicle that you'll drive it until it dies. It's different, and that's how the Tahoe is for me. It's different. I make sure that I am driving it. Okay, my husband just texted me 911. I need to find out what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to mute for a second. I do apologize, but I've got my husband sending me a 911 message, and I need to call him. Okay, it does not seem to be an actual emergency because people like to exaggerate. And I know you probably cannot see the white line. There's a white line right here. I can actually still see it. And so I'm lining that white line and that black line up pretty close. Oh, I'm going to fuss at my husband. He put a 911 in our family chat because he couldn't find a mug he was looking for. We do not put 911 in the chat unless it's an actual emergency, like blood involved and stuff. Yeah, Stacy, what it is that I have a 2018 Tahoe. The driver's side back door has to be replaced because of the impact site. The entire back quarter panel, which happens to be where the gas is, has to be replaced. The back light has to be replaced. The wraparound bumper has to be replaced. The passenger side back door has to be repaired. The running board on the passenger side has to be replaced. It's a step that you use to get into the vehicle. And one of my rims has to be replaced. Over half of the cost is parts. This guy thought by saying he would pay for it out of pocket would mean that he was only going to be paying a few $1,000s. I think he was thinking about getting out from everything for about $5,000-6,000, and my parts cost more than that. I should post a folder with all the pictures and send you guys a link so you can see them. Because they have to do an inspection on my gas tank area to make sure there's no damage there. Because rolling down the road and having your gas tank explode would suck. And this thing is like, it's a weighted roller. Similar to the things you can use on your face. It's just, it's a metal roller. And it helps make sure the adhesion between the two pieces of leather is good. I don't know how I get glue on the back of my hand, but I did. So now that piece can go dry. And this one I've already marked. I've made a lot of the marking on here already. I'll go ahead and move these. Move the stuff I don't need in my work area, my immediate table work area. This one I already lined it up so that I've got the two pieces here, so there'll be nothing dead center. This part goes between Let me see if I can pull up a picture of the hat style I'm making. That would be useful. Let me see. I know I have a to put that on this screen. I think there's a way I can share a screen. Oh, wow, it doesn't just share the entire, it's bringing up every tab on my browsers. And it's not a tab that I don't want to share a tab from my browser. But that's what it's trying to do. An entire screen. Huh, that works. Share. Okay. Okay, so you can see this. So these are old officer style hats. And I am making this style. Except for what I change. So the part I just worked on is, I'm going to do this so you can see what I'm talking about. The part I just marked up, I just laid out was this one. The pattern piece that's on my table right now is this underside piece here. And then this was the brim piece that I already had done. So I have this piece to lay out, and then I have the very top circle to lay out. And then I can start laying the pattern on it. I have to glue those, and then I can lay the pattern on it and start working on that. So now I'm going to go back to this one. So yeah. So this piece was that top piece between the part that stands up and the very circle on top. And so it's going to be interesting in how I have the snake going on it. Yeah, it's foil embossed leather. That's what the lady wanted for her crazy costume hat. And who am I to question it? It mimics a snake, but it's not. And it's all because of some leather I had that I made a box with that was purples and teals and stuff. So yeah. Cut a little bit of this off. I don't need all this extra. I always include extra in my pattern layout anyway. I'm just trying to mark my glue lines. If I had a silver Sharpie sitting here, I would use it because it would be faster. My love-hate relationship with working with black. Everything gets on it, especially when you're working with a suede black. Everything attaches to it. And it marked. I need to set it up where I can put my camera on my other table. I have a bigger work table, but I do not have the computer over there. But once I get everything redone down here, this table and my work table will be closer together. My other work table. Because I have a fold away work table that's for laying out stuff. And I made it a fold away table. It sits on top of a cabinet. But I made it a fold away so that way I can take it down to lay out patterns and stuff and fold the table back up against the wall so it stays clean. Sue, I have done it both ways. No one has actually mailed me their leather, but like with this one, she and I went online and figured out what leather to get. I told her how much I needed, and she purchased the leather because that's what she wanted. Hi, Rosie. I'm doing the pre-Rosie show. So she picked the leather, specific leather, and she ordered it and had it sent to my house. Whereas other people, like the green hat, like similar to Scott's that I made, the guy told me what he wanted. I sent him some to the location to pick exactly which one he wanted, because saying he wants a green hat is there's so many shades of green. And even just saying a dark green, well, dark moss green, dark army green, which green forest, what color green do you want? Blues are the same way. There's so many tones to it. So I sent the guy the website and said, pick your leather, tell me the code on it. And when you send me half the money, I'll order the leather. And that's what he did. And then I ordered that leather. And it came to me. Because that's how I do it, is once I have half of the money, I start ordering the supplies. And we'll start working on it. But until it's paid for, nothing gets shipped. Because worst case, you've paid, because the first half is non-refundable unless I fail to do my part. That way, once I buy the supplies, if the person backs out of it, I'm not out any money. And I'll just finish off something and then turn around and sell it and pay for my wasted time of them not getting their item. I have never had anyone back out of a deal. I've never had anyone back out of a deal. And I have worked with people that I don't know. They found me through someone else and contacted me and said, hey, actually there was a guy following me on Instagram because a friend of his was following me on Instagram, and he saw stuff I did. And when I posted Scott's hat, he contacted me and says, I need this hat for my friend. And I'm like, well, you can't have that one. And he actually did not want it to be ostrich. He wanted it to be cow leather. And so that worked out. So I do the leather. And I mean, if someone sent me leather, I would have to hope that they would send me what I tell them I need. That's the hardest part of someone sending you the leather, because if I tell you I need 4-ounce chrome tan leather and you send me 3-ounce chrome tan leather, or 2-ounce, it won't work. And it's like with this one, I knew that the leather was too thin to make a hat with. I knew that. And so I knew I was going to be binding 2 layers of leather together to make this hat work. So I like getting the leather myself, partly because I'm a shopaholic, and it's kind of like it makes me feel like I'm shopping for myself. So I get that joy of shopping. But if the and it also depends if they want a specialty leather and they're paying separate for the leather, that the total leather cost is a separate price. That means I would send them any leftovers at the end. Normally, I do not send people the leftover leather. It gets put into my scrap bin. Oh, I know why I keep getting glue, because I have glue on my phone cord. Oh, Rosie. Yeah, I saw that you were going on at 7:15, and that's why I figured going on at 4 to 7 today would work. And see, like, I'm going to have all this that's going to be leftovers, so I will figure out something to do with this crazy rainbow leather. But I am thinking about just making some keychains, because it's not really big pieces. I mean, I might have enough to make a small purse, like, little disco bag is what we used to call them, which was basically a bag big enough, barely big enough for a phone, pack of cigarettes, a lighter, your ID, and some money. I need $1 million, Rosie. Now I can see a 1960s mini dress made out of this leather and a girl dancing. That's my brain. When I see this, that's what I see, is some girl with her go-go boots on and a short dress. Oh, I thought you would like that, Rosie. If I make keychains, you would be interested. Yeah, I actually do make keychains. I have several different patterns for keychains. As a matter of fact, Sue, I think I have a turtle keychain. Yes, white go-go boots and that short, straight shaped boxy dress made out of this leather, dancing in a cage. Yep, that's it. On America's Bandstand or something. I think I'm showing my age. This is going to be so soft on the inside. And then I'll decide where to put my name tag on it. That one went up pretty easy. I wind up with pieces hanging all over the place. Hi, Elizabeth. Yeah, I need to make some keychains because I should be able to make some fairly inexpensive. And this is another one I had already marked up because when it comes down to it, you see, this stuff was not cheap. That's why the lady got it separate. It was $8.80 per square foot. And a square foot is 12 by 12 inches. So you figure come across here, that's 12 inches. Yeah, so from thumb to thumb, that's 12 inches, and you make that into a square, and that's $8 and something. So on this hat, I'm making it where these two stripes will come. I didn't want to put them crossways of it, and I really don't know that I wanted to try to center one on it, although I could. I don't know. Do I want to put one of these down the center of the hat? Or do I want to put this down the center and this down each side? Because that's how I originally laid it out. I laid it out where the pattern piece would go like this. And so these two pieces would be down each side. But I could shift it and make it where it goes down the middle. One down the middle. Anyone have any opinions? I think lining it up wise, this is the easier option, having it this way, because of where they're going to be on the hat, it won't show as much. And there's not a lot to line it up to. Yeah, I think that's the way I'm going to go. Which I think that's the way I had it. Yeah, that's the way I already had it. It was going from here to here. Yeah. That's how I had already had it. Try to knock that up just a little bit. make sure I do have that down the middle. That's off just a little bit. I'm going to remark this one because what I had marked as a center line is not going to be a center line, because if I try to make that the center line, everything I think is off. Yeah. And that is one thing that's very important, is getting these two lines lined up. And when I am here by myself without you guys, I actually do all this same stuff of laying it out, matching it up. I did this with Scott's, with that ostrich, because each half of the hat was 2 legs. There's 4 legs in his hat, and trying to make the right and the left side look pretty balanced, I guess would be the best way to put it. Trying to get it to look kind of balanced was hard, because I was using 4 different legs. If it was embossed leather, it would have been easier, because embossed is a repeating pattern, and so it's easy to find the exact same pattern again. These little clips are what I call leather pins, because you can't put sewing pins into leather because you don't want to make holes. But these little clippy doodles are awesome. Because me coming up with where center is and being able to hold it in place while I mark it is kind of important. And so yeah, my center line was off. This side is correct. This side was off. And I want it where this piece and this piece line up. Yeah, that covers. Yeah, that works. Rosie likes a good seam, huh? And I'm actually marking this one. It's like a T side. So I know this is the correct line to follow. Mark it. create me a dotted line here to follow. I like the smell of leather too. That makes coming down here nice because my work area smells like leather. Every now and then I get a piece of leather that's been highly processed so I can smell the chemicals in it instead of it smelling like a good leather hide. Okay, so one side was right and one side was wrong. When it comes to that center line, that deck blasted center line matters. Yep, yep. Let me drink me some coffee. And so I would appreciate it if anyone that comes in would push the thumbs up to show me your appreciation of me being online today, that you like me, you really, really like me. Okay. But this is a slow process. You guys have seen me just doing the stitching. This is the slow process of setting it all up. Getting everything set up in advance. This is the part most people don't see that I do. Most people don't see this part of my leather work. I usually have this stuff done ahead of time so that I don't have to bore people with laying out a pattern and stuff. I need to edit the videos from where I made Scott's hat and post those up. So now it's glue time once again, and that's the nice soft one will be on the inside that you can see. You won't see this part. I think I'm gonna have to get some more glue out. I am. Not nearly enough. Well, and Sue, one of the reasons is, people are like, oh, it's just a few pieces of leather you put together, and why does it cost so much? Well, it takes time, and time is money. People don't realize how much time we put into these. This is just a basic water-based glue, and I don't know that I can get this under the camera, and Violene's tacky glue. I only use this on parts where I'm going to be stitching all the way around it. Other than that, I use a barge cement, which stinks to high heavens, and it's a stronger glue. This is not this works great for what I'm doing, but if it were on the edges over time, it would start to come apart. It would not. This is not something that would last 5 years from now with just the glue. Whereas the barge cement is a much, much stronger glue and would last for years. But this holds everything in place the way I need it to be, as long as I need it to be. And all of the edges will be stitched. And once that's done, then this glue will hold indefinitely, because the stitches hold it in place and avoid any kind of tension of pulling apart. And we've all seen those inexpensive bags, usually they're fake leather, where they glued parts together, and over the years, over time, the layers start peeling apart, and it doesn't look good. And certainly doesn't look good with fake leather, but it doesn't look good with real leather either, when someone cheaps out. Set this aside right here to dry. And one of the things I will do when I make this hat is some of the little leather scraps that are left, I will wind up making her something, a keychain or something, because that's what I do when I make hats and bags and stuff. Usually you'll wind up with some kind of little bag charm hanging off your bag, or a keychain, or something made with the same leather that your item is made with. Because I grew up with, you don't waste things. And when you have little pieces and parts left over, you have to do something with it. And to me, that's just that little extra piece that shows the person that I appreciate them ordering from me. Because I do. I mean, I started making stuff because I wanted stuff that I couldn't find, or I wanted stuff at a better price or better quality than what I could find. Because that was the other thing that was getting me, was the lack of quality of things you could find. It just wasn't there. And when it comes to a lot of things, I am a snob. When it comes to the quality of how things are made, I am a snob. And so I have to fix this because I just realized I got my center line wrong. And that's one of the things I like about this glue, because I didn't let it set all the way. So I can go in here and reposition. Go to that line. Now, and this pushes the air out from between the layers and just helps it get a better hold. I'm trying not to get glue all over my wheel. And I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it sounds like paper crackling when the air gets pushed out. This also would help if I put too much glue in one area. Right in the center of the hat. I just splooged glue. And I'll have to clean that up. I'll have to get my leather cleaner out and clean that spot up now. And then brush it. I mean, luckily it is the inside, so it's really not going to be something that's seen. And I'll have to get my suede cleaner out now. And I will clean that up before I cut out this piece. I'm not going to take time to cut out a piece and then not use it, because if I can't get that to look in a way that I want it to look, then I'll redo this piece. Yeah. Leave all these little back to this long one that I glued. And now I can feel my reinforced piece behind it. And one of the things I use is I use a masking tape. It's a low tack masking tape, so it does not leave sticky residue behind. Because again, unlike sewing, I can't just pin it down. If that is moving, that is shifted. This is one of the annoying parts, is making sure that this is predominantly straight, and it's not. Let me see, how far off is it? Put me a few pieces, guide pieces. Let's see if I can get this straight. This is the part that's hard when you're working with a patterned leather, just like it is when you're sewing. So your questions do not bother me. The problem is that I keep not looking at the text. So I keep missing it for a while. We ask questions to learn. If you don't ask questions, you can't learn things. Yeah, I thought about doing a patchwork bag, making it where there's like a canvas base and taking all kinds of scraps of leather and hand stitching it on it. So it would be a conglomerations of all kinds of leathers, and even if it's one piece, like with this, I could take all the little scraps and stitch them together with a canvas base. I just have rules that if it's bigger than, kind of thing of, if you see scraps that are bigger than this size, then you don't throw it away. And usually for me, it is the palm of my hand. If it's at least this big, I can do something with that. That's a keychain. I know someone else, when it comes to their fabric, if it's at least 1 square inch, 1 square inch. So that square, one little bitty square inch, she will keep it, because she makes what's called a postage stamp quilt, which is made out of these tiny little pieces. Now I think that's going to be straight. So yeah, pattern leathers are hard because You have to get the thing straight. Um, well, I do because I care. When this meets in the back, I want it to meet where this still looks like a straight continuous line that just overlaps. I don't want them to be shifted. I just realized how horrible my fingers look. Hi, Phil. You're welcome to lurk here anytime you want. Hi, Tammy. Good to see you. I just realized I don't know. Do I have people who are mods in this room? Because I just realized I don't have any control over trolls at this moment. Okay, Lisa is. I am going to have to set up a few mods to watch the chat for me when I'm doing this stuff. And I'll just have to figure out how to do that. I mean, we don't have a lot going on here, so it's basically the only time I need anybody to do anything is just to catch any trolls. Stalkers don't bother me. So I just worry about trolls. Anyone wanting to come in and cause problems. The drama mongers and attention seekers, the trolls. Thank you, Tammy. You know, when I first started doing this stuff, someone said something about streaming. I'm like, nobody is going to want to sit and watch me making something because it takes so much time to get this stuff done. And someone's like, oh, yeah, they'll come on and they'll watch you. And I was like, well, okay then. So let me knock the camera around, shake you guys up a little bit. So what I was talking about, when I put the hat band together, it's going to come together like this. And I want it where that center line just continues like, let me see if I can see it in here. It's hard with this because it shines. But you can see the lines, and I want it to go from one to the other. If it was shifted, you'd be able to see one line here and one line up here. And that would be bad. So that's why I'm trying to keep it as close together as possible. So when I sew it together in a circle, it looks like it belongs there. It looks normal. Let's see, I'll do something with this. I'll put something on the back of here, and I can make a few keychains out of this. Oh, Sue, I grew up watching Bob Ross. My mom actually took a class to learn how to sew with his style. And my mom was a pretty good painter. I have a couple of her paintings that she did. I think it would be easier if there was a second person on that could watch the chat and talk, Lisa. That way, like you're doing your resin thing, and then someone could ask a question, and whoever's on with you can go, Lisa, they want to know what kind of mica powder you just put in. What color mica powder are you using? So I think a second person on some of these lives would be useful, just to be able to read the chat for you. Yeah, that's the problem with the music situation. You have to find music that is in the free domain of music that you can't get copyright strikes on. Oh, I wonder what kind of music they have out there in the free domain world. Probably not anything anyone wants to listen to. Yeah, Lisa, because there's a lot of people that watch others do resin. So now I have this piece taped down. I have this piece taped down. That's two of the main four pieces. There's other pieces that I'll cut out, but they're minor pieces, and I haven't decided what color they're going to be yet. Set these aside. I actually do things in the reverse order from what I mean in the same order I did it originally, so that like this glue's had time to set up. You can see that this is not just going to come apart. Could I pull it apart? Yes. Let me see if I got that right. No, that is not right. I just bend my needle. No. Yes, I did just bend a needle. Trying to use wig pins. No, it is not a hammer. Yes, I'm using it like a hammer. But that's okay. And I use the wig pins in an area that's not going to be used in the hat. The main reason for that is so I can line my pattern piece up. And in theory, that should be lined up. So we'll start with some preliminary tape. Move my roller out of the way. Yeah. I was measuring to I measure with my body parts. Oh, I need to catch up on here. The music, the money. They had one guy did a YouTube video and they gave him a copyright strike, but the music he was playing was his music. So they gave him a copyright strike on using his own music. And so his people had to fight that, going, how can you copyright him, give him a copyright strike for using the music that he owns the copyright on? No, this is actually a recorded musician. It would be like them going up and Queen posting videos with their music on it and them giving a copyright strike to Queen for posting Queen's music. It was one of those kind of situations. Which I find hilarious. And the guy that was talking about it was particularly annoyed because he wrote the song. And he's like, so yeah, he goes, not only are they giving me a copyright for the music I'm playing that we own, they're giving me a copyright on the song that I wrote. Yeah, anyone can create a channel and say they're Queen when they're not. And that's why a lot of them, like the thing formerly known as Twitter, had the blue check thing, but now they make you pay to get your blue check. Elon Musk really does not need my money. I just hope if anyone decides to impersonate me or steal my identity, that they do something like leave some money in my bank account when they're done. Like add some money to my bank account, give me better credit, that kind of crap. Leave me in better condition than you found me, because that's how you're supposed to do things. Use my identity, just leave me in a better condition than you found me. Yeah, I actually had to explain that to the grandkids about, because it's like, oh, my friend says there's this site where you can get all this music for free, and it's like, no, 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 no. Somebody has to be paying something somewhere, because it's like, and with Topher, he has autism, and the one thing I could relate to him was, it's like someone getting you to cut their grass and not paying you. You did a service and they're benefiting from it, and you're not making any money from it. And he goes, well, no, if I cut the grass, then they'd have to pay me. And I went, okay, if a musician creates art, then it needs to be paid for. And since nobody's just paying it up front at one time, they get paid every time the song plays on the radio or every time it's used in a movie. They don't get one paycheck. I said, you cut the grass, I give you $50. If a musician writes a song, they don't get their $50 up front. They get a couple of dollars here and a couple of dollars there and a couple of dollars there. So it takes a long time for them to actually get paid for the work they did. And then he understood it. And so he now knows that it's wrong to steal the music. And it's the same thing for the videos. It's like, no, you don't go to these hack sites that allow you to watch movies for free, because the same thing applies. This is going to have there's a lot of keychains here. Actually, that's a little purse there. Ooh, I might have to make a little circle purse. Anyone got, or a heart? Ooh, I should make a rainbow heart purse. Kanye is an idiot. A turtle purse out of this? A rainbow turtle? Now, see, I could, ooh, because the pattern I have, you have the main turtle body, and then you have little pieces that you sew onto it for all the different, for the scoots on it. And I could do the scoots in this. That would be cool. So do like a green turtle, but have all the little scoots in this pattern. I could so do that, Sue. Do I need to give you my PayPal and Cash App so you can start sending me $10 at a time till you pay for it? Because that is something I do. I do payments. And people think I'm joking when I say that I will trade Leatherwork for pretty rocks. That's true too. Joyce took me up on that, and one there was a stone I wanted, and Barry texted me and asked me if they bought me the stone, if I would put it towards a leather purse for Joyce. And I was like, yes, I was serious about bartering. And so she bought me that stone that I wanted for $100. And then last Friday, they gave Robbie $150 for me and for me to get whatever I wanted. I don't mind bartering. I don't sell my leather work to support the house. MZ, I would absolutely write that in my notebook. I actually have a spreadsheet I keep. And like with Joyce's, I put Joyce's name in there, and I put that she prepaid $250 towards the bag she wanted. She actually still hasn't picked it. She just knows she wants a bigger bag. And so I absolutely do that. And Lisa is actually holding that for me because I told her I wanted it, MZ. But I am a firm believer. I grew up, my dad had lived on the mountain. We did not have electricity. We had running water only from the spring uphill, no gas. Um, we heated and cooked via wood burning. We had a garden that was downhill from the spring. That way, no one had to go water the garden. It was automatically watered on a daily basis. We lived actually primitive. That was how I finished out high school. The last year and a half of high school was living up on a mountain. And Dad would barter. If he had the guy that had a lot of cows, that slaughtered cows every year, and he would tell him, you give me this much meat and I will fix your car. I will take care of your cars for this amount of time. And my dad would be a personal mechanic for people in exchange for meat, or in exchange he would swap off lumber, wood burning, firewood. Yeah, that's the word for it, firewood. I think I need to drink more coffee. Yes, the tag on the bottom of that cave says $125. Because when you were showing it, I saw that and I was like, oh, 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 oh. It would look so good next to my amethyst vase that I got from Robbie, my vase. Okay, that piece is good. I'll cut off all the extra leather in a little bit. This one's still a little tacky. Well then, let me go. Hold on, let me take a minute. Lisa, you need to confirm that MZ paid you $125 for me for my piece of beautiful amethyst. Not that I don't believe that MZ did it, but it's because that's just the way you do things. And I appreciate it, MZ. I really do. Eventually, people will catch on that I absolutely do this bartering. I'm trying to find my Excel file. Commissions. Pull up my commission sheet, even though there's no commission attached to it yet. Need to be able to use my keyboard. MZ. Toward the future, something or another. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you're planning on getting. Keep my list up to date. There. I put it on my list. If you have some that you like the style of, MZ, you can send me an email with pictures, because I've had people do that before. They said, it's like, I want something similar to this. I just lost my own live. Okay. That's, you can send it to that email address, because that's where I keep all my leather crafting stuff. I created a separate email just for that. That way I don't mix my personal stuff up with my other stuff. Donuts. Oh, Sue said something about donuts. Oh, hubby got back and brought some Amish donuts. Sue's husband needs to share. He needs to absolutely share with us. Hoarding up all the donuts like that. That's not right. Who does that? Oh, I have to find out what I'm having for dinner tomorrow, because it's my birthday. What we do is on someone's birthday, they get to pick where we eat. What is it with all you people in? Okay, I'm going to put in a request that someone finds a Krispy Kreme donut and go get me some donuts tomorrow for breakfast. Oh wow, this actually was $9.35 originally. Let me see if I can figure out where my camera is on this thing. Okay, camera is over here. So the original price was $9.35 a square foot. So if you're making a big bag that uses 10 square feet of leather, you're looking at $90 just for the leather. That's part of the cost that people don't look at. I have an abundance of leather that I have bought on great sales because I'm smart like that. But that also means that a lot of my leather is one-off. It's like I can't make two of the same thing because I can't get any more of that same leather. Some of the leather, like the leather I made Robbie's hat out of, that is from the tannery SB Foot, and they do the leather. They tan the leather for Red Wing shoes. So the leather from Robbie's hat was originally destined to be a pair of boots, but when they were checking the dye lots, the coloring was slightly different, so they could not use that hide to make a pair of boots because the coloring was off. So they threw the side, they threw that side of that hide to the side, and then they sell it to places like the place I buy a lot of my stuff with, Springfield Leather. They sell it to places like Springfield Leather. Well, I could buy it. I'm never going to find another hide that same color. And that's what I did. But that also is part of a lot of my stuff is totally unique. You will never find this pattern with this exact leather ever again. Okay, that works. And yes, I'm using the back side of a toothbrush, and I just rubbed off all the nubbies. But it works well on leather. It's almost like an eraser. Suede, one of the things they use for cleaning suede is an eraser. And so I'm just faking it here. Okay, I'm okay with this. People and their daggum donuts. I'm going to go ahead and remove the extra on this so that when I go to lay it out, it's easier for me. Just rough cut around it, which also gets that part off that still has glue that's a little tacky. So yeah, I still have all this that I can do something with. And now the fun part. I actually have a hammer around here. I just had it in my hand. Oh shoot, that is just not working for me. I am so losing my mind. I had a hammer. That is not a hammer. I think my grandchildren keep stealing my hammers. There is a hammer. So what I'm going to do is, since this is outside the line, that looks right. Hi, Free Spirit. I don't know if you can see that black thread on there. I put holes on the outside of the outside area so I knew that it wouldn't interfere with the pattern itself. And I put one at the top and at the bottom. That way I have that straight line that I can line my pattern up on now. So you can see the thread. And I folded my pattern so I can see where that fold line is, and I can line that up on the thread now and make sure my pattern pieces are laid up straight. Because sometimes I just come up with the ideas and it works. Some weights. Oh, that's going to be pretty. I think I'm going to like it. You would think working in a small work area that you would not lose everything. I can be working in a 3-foot square work area and I will misplace absolutely everything I need. And should I continue working on this hat tonight or should I save it for tomorrow and go on tomorrow afternoon and finish and work on it some more? You guys want to see me do the entire hat? Because I can absolutely just do a live each time and continue working on this one hat until we finish it. If you want to see the entire process of making this hat. because I can work on these scraps making keychains later tonight. And then pick up on the hat tomorrow afternoon. I might go on a little bit earlier tomorrow to get a little bit more time in on it. Because I know Rosie goes on, I think it's 7:15 tomorrow. So I want to make sure that I don't overlap with her time because I'm just nice and crap like that. Oh, Free Spirit, did you get all the stuff out of your room? I know you will be so happy when you get your new bed. And I know that new bed will bring you such joy and comfort. And one of the things I'm going to do on this piece, because it's so big and I notice this keeps shifting around in the center, carefully, I'm going to score the paper piece. I'm not putting pressure on it, so I'm not going down to the leather itself. And what I'm doing is I'm going to cut out this little window in here so that I can better secure the pattern onto the leather. It's a little trick I learned to better hold that in place. Now this pattern won't lift up in the center while I'm working on punching the holes or cutting it out. This will help hold that pattern piece in place. It's kind of like if you're sewing fabric, you know, you have a really large piece, you might put pins in the middle of the pattern piece. And so that's basically what I'm doing here is I'm holding that down. So when I go to move it, I don't have this big bubble coming up in the middle. And that gives me something easier to work with. This hat is going to be so freaking cool. So now I have that pattern piece down. I have to debate what kind of piping I'm going to put on this hat. Let me go back to here. Let me see. So again, this is the hat I'm making. So on the pattern pieces, this one will have the scales going around it this way. This one has it going this way. This one will have a scale on the side, and then the top of it will have it on the side as well. I think that's going to be pretty cool. So I have the brim cut out with a reinforcement in it. I have this part worked out, and then I have this part. I need to cut off the extra of that part, and then I have that part. So yeah, I'm just going to finish cutting off some of the extra stuff. So Yeah, Free Spirit. I use a low tack masking tape. I get it off of Amazon, fairly inexpensive. But I'm making this hat, and the leather I'm using is, I might as well just grab this piece since I have to cut off the extra. It's this rainbow. It's rainbow foil embossed leather that's mimicking snake. I got a package, and that's Jeff's. My grandchild just brought me an Amazon package. I thought it was something I needed, and it's actually my husband's. It's for him. It's something. Well, I bought it, but it's for him. So now I can. Lots of extra. And that one is buckling up a little bit too, so I'll do the same thing to that one. And I'm literally not really putting any pressure on it. It's just that I use a sharp razor knife. I don't buy any fancy dancy tools. I don't use special leather shears. I use a box cutter, a basic razor knife, a box cutter. It was inexpensive. I bought it on Amazon, and I've used it for years. I actually have two of them because they came two to a pack. And I like it because I can sharpen the blade, or I can just replace the blades. And these blades are not that expensive. I bought a container of like 100 of them because it was really cheap, cheap per blade to do that. And I keep them in my cabinet. But I do sharpen my blades and reuse them, even though they're cheap blades. I can't see throwing a blade away after one project, just to ensure that I have a good sharp blade. I have a piece of leather that I put polishing compound on, and I give it a couple of swipes on the blade, and it keeps my blade nice and sharp. I do not use an X-Acto knife because I find the blades are a little flimsy for my taste. I know people that have a lot of luck with that. So I've got the pattern laid out, and I am not pounding holes because I'm only going to be on here for about 30 minutes. So now, Sue has me thinking. Bags, purses. Okay, that's this bag. This one is a different pattern. I move this one over here. Is Sue still here? She is. These are Fiskars. No, my camera's over here. Yeah, these are Fisker scissors, which I have a sharpener that I just run it through to resharpen those. Okay, I'm going to share a screen to show you one of the bags I have. That's one of the patterns I have. Let me see. This one doesn't show the picture. Okay, this one is for them. Okay, that's this one. Let's see if I can. I'm not going to show the whole video. I'm just trying to see if I can pull it up so it can. That's a backpack. And yes, I can make the other purse. I can enlarge the pattern. But look at that backpack. Anyone want to be a turtle? And this one, if I'm not mistaken, has a zipper on the back. A zip, yeah, there's a zip pocket to go into it. This is perfect if you have a Ninja Turtle kid, because you can make one and proportionately it would work well on them, and they could be a Ninja Turtle. Yeah, I didn't think this would be your thing. But this purse is, let me go to that one. And see what if they give me the sizes on the pattern. Which it may pop the pattern up on that window, I'm not sure. Oh, why are you not opening? Or is that the one I have open? Haha. Yeah. So this one is measurements of the, oh, that's the leather you need. That's not the. So this one is going to be, these are 14-inch, or like, our paper is 8.5 by 11. Which pattern is this? Or, this is the A4 paper, so it's bigger than, two pieces of regular paper. because this is the base of it. The main body of the bag is here. And yeah, you can see my cursor. That's the main body of the bag. And you can see these dotted lines that shows you that it's 2 pieces of A4 paper. But you got all the pieces and parts that we put together. I was hoping it would tell me the finished measurements of it. I hate when they don't say, okay, so that paper is a little bit wider than 8 inches and a little bit longer. A little bit longer than 11 inches. So when I look at this, it's going to be 11 inches tall and probably about 13 inches wide. For the turtle pattern for this one. And you would want it bigger than that, Sue? I can use whatever leather I use. I have some, like this one, it uses a veg tan leather on the outside. The tan part is a veg tan leather, which is a stiffer leather. And that's not necessary. It doesn't have to be. This one would be cool with the rainbow. You could do the turtle in the rainbow. So do the back piece. I don't know, but I don't know that I have enough to do that. But yeah, you get to use 2 different colors on it. And then the stitching, the stitching is used for accents as well. And this one would require my good glue, because you can see like they have all these holes in it, but they're not stitched around the holes, which means that can be pulled up. And you wouldn't want that. You wouldn't want it to be pulled up and stuff get dust and sand or whatever to start getting between the layers. So this is something that I would use a good barge cement on, which is a leather weld or whatever you want to call it. There's many names for it depending on what brand you buy. And it's a really stinky, smelly glue that permeates throughout the entire house when I use it. But that's okay. I don't mind using it. I don't use it that often. I use it when I have to. But yeah, this one's kind of cool. I can make the strap as long as it's needed. And I'm pretty sure yeah, I have a little keychain too, a little turtle. I hate when they're tutorials or stuff like that doesn't have actual patterns. This one actually does. See, these are the little keychains. I think those are cute too. And that's what I was thinking. It like with this, I could use a base leather, but these little scoots on here, I could see them in the rainbow leather. Using the little rainbow leather on these little scoots around it. I actually have more than one pattern. That one. And I don't know if this one has a picture in it. No, this one does not. This one actually is, it's laid out different. This one that's on the screen, the green underneath it is one solid piece, and then these are sewn on top of it. This one is not. It's not one solid piece. It's a frame that you sew all these pieces onto. But you could still do the frame in one color and all these different pieces in a different color. But this one makes a little similar keychain. It doesn't have an actual picture to it, sadly. I don't think it did. Let me see. No, this one doesn't show a finished. I actually wind up going to their videos or whatever and cutting out or doing a snapshot to get the actual image and putting it in my folder so I can see. But it had to have been something cool for me to get it. Let's see if I can find the pattern. Okay, yeah, it's this one. This one, it's just the shell. The second one is just this one. So unlike the other one that showed the heads and everything, yeah, they're little stuffies. They're filled with cotton batting to make them 3D. So do you like the one with the head and the feet or without the head and the feet? Let's see if I can. Yeah, I can scooch that over and show both of them. Now, proportionate wise, they'll be about the same size. But yeah, there's 2 layers and there's a stuffing in there. Oh, goodness, free spirit, that happens. I was looking at keychains with Sue. Yeah, I'm looking at this small pieces of fabric, leather I have, and that would be perfect to use to do those little scoots. I could arrange it where each scoot has multiple colors in it and do some of it on the part that has big stuff and little stuff. But yeah. Yeah. I got both because I know people that like just the turtle shell part of it, which I could actually take the turtle shell and make 2 of the outside pieces and put a gusset around them and a zipper and make a coin purse out of it. I could absolutely Or even with just the bottom of it, I could turn this into a coin purse. Make it a little bit bigger and turn it into a coin purse. This one would be a little bit harder to hide the zipper in. But yeah. I'll have to see about making some keychains. I don't have a pattern printer down here. Is the only problem with that. So let me make myself a note. Whose keychain was this one? And see, they use the veg tan, which is supposed to be stiffer. So you can see it's the bottom, it's the top, it's the scoots, the head, 2 legs or 4 legs, and the tail. And the tail piece is where the keychain hooks to it. And I usually don't dye leather. I use already dyed leather because that's just the way I am. No, I have a Free Spirit. I have a printer. It's just upstairs. Keychains for this size probably are going to be like $10, $15 because it's more paying for the time it takes me to do it than anything. They're not too crazy. Yeah, I have to get that. I have that information somewhere. Hold on a second. Okay, and I just need to see where I have this information because I know I have it on this computer. I just usually don't keep my Cash App information handy in my brain. And I can't get it on my phone because my phone is My phone is busy right now. It's my phone is my camera. I have my phone connected to the computer and I'm using it as a camera. Actually, I might be able to. I might be able to access the information on my phone. Well, I thought it was going to give me my information I needed. It is not. Yes, it will let me see things on my phone. As long as it doesn't throw my camera off, I'm good. No, that doesn't work. And why is this wiggling? Yeah, I will actually need to put that. If there's my, well, that is not where I was at. That's that. If Lisa's still here, she probably has my Cash App because I send her money via Cash App. I just can't get it right at this moment because I can't access things on my phone. Yes, I can. No, because that doesn't show me what it is. Yeah, I can't do it this way. It is so not going to let me access it. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Sue. I will move you from the maybe list to the commission list. You want the rest of the turtle to be green? So the background to be green, his belly to be green, his head and his feet to be green, and his scoots to be rainbow? And I'll use two different colors of green so it shows up different. I will possibly use some of this green because this green works with this. And then maybe get a little bit of a darker green. Use this for like his head and his feet so they're all soft so you can sit there and rub his little head and it'll be soft and sweet. And then I'll use a different green, a little bit darker green for the body and the belly. Or I'll do it the other way around and use this so you can rub his belly. Yeah, I'll figure it out. If I found pieces where the green glittery stuff was big enough, I could make his little head green and glittery. But I don't think that the layout on here has pieces big enough where the green is going to be big enough for to make the head or the legs. I'll see though. Because if the green parts are big enough that I can lay out the head, the feet, and the tail in the green glittery, I'll use that for his head and feet and tail. Use the other green for his body, and then use everything except the green for the scoots. And then you'll just have your little happy rainbow turtle with a soft belly on a keychain. Do you want it with just the ring keychain like they had on it, or do you want it with one with a clip? Now I know I had his little turtle body up. Where did it go? Okay, let me make myself a little note over here. And actually, I still might have another option because of some paint, some leather paint I have. That if these pieces are not big enough, that I can still give it that same look. So yeah, I've got options. Okay, so you want the ring just like they had. I can do that. And then you can clip it onto wherever you want to clip it to. I know why my camera keeps moving. It's because my legs keep moving. And I'm leaning on I lean against the table and I shake my legs. And I do not know why my version of YouTube is not staying, the video is not staying in sync with what I have on the screen. So, yeah. So I'm good with this. I'm going to be happy with this hat. I'm going to pick up tomorrow. I'll probably try to come on a little bit earlier in the middle of the day and stay on longer because I think Rosie goes on it. If I'm not mistaken. Rosie goes on at 7 tomorrow. Let me double check her lives. Sundays she goes on at 7:15. Yeah. So I might try to do an earlier. Try not to stay up all night like I did last night. Not stay up all night so I don't sleep too late in the day. So now I'm going to go print a pattern for a turtle. Anyone else want a keychain using some of this rainbow leather? I've got all kinds of patterns. Yes, I found that. I found that MZ when you sent me the recipes. I did change where I put the recipes because the one drive it was on was acting stupid, and I have two different ones, and so I put it on the one that where it links to my computer so that it's everything on that area is actually backed up. It's on my computer and on the Google Drive. And that way I have both. But my email address is pinned. Yay! I got a cave in my box. Is that what you just said, Lisa? Sweet. I love bartering. I find it's a total win-win situation. But I like this. This is going to be interesting. So tomorrow we will pick up pounding holes in leather and cutting out those parts. I will have the camera set a little bit higher because if I leave it where it is, I'm going to be smacking it with my hammer. There's not enough clearance here for me to be pounding holes. When I look at it, it's like, no, I'll be hitting my phone because, like I said, my phone is my camera. I found a neat app where I can link it and use my phone as my camera instead of using the computer's camera, which I think is really cool because I prefer using the camera from the camera because it shows looking down, and obviously the computer's camera is only going to show my bright shining face, which nobody wants to see when I have my hair tied up in a knot. You love these colors, Lisa? Lisa, I'm going to have to barter with you for something really cool to make your hat. Because I would actually do that. Show me something pretty, Lisa. Trade me for a hat. Yeah, I'll move it up. I've got it on an adjustable arm. I don't know, Lisa. We'll work it out. I need to get some pictures and put them in a Google Drive area that you can access and stuff like that. Because as I make things, I can save a picture and put the name of it and how much it costs for that item. And it would be, all the prices would be starting at this dollar amount. And the reason for that is like the basic hat, like I'm making for this hat, the cheapest I can get away with doing it is like $250. But that's using the lesser expensive plain cowhide, not using leather that's almost $10 a square foot. So sometimes leather choices affect price. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to I want to use up every bit of this, because it's more expensive. I mean, it's not the most expensive, but it is more expensive. So I can take the same hat and make it, one person's going to pay $250, someone else is going to pay $400 for the hat that's structured exactly the same, but the choices they make with the leather and accessories on it affect the pricing. Because there's a big difference between leather I can get for $5 a square foot versus leather I have to pay $10 a square foot for. That cost of goods changes the price. Or someone that wants me to inlay something like I did for CC DeVille's hat, that raises the price because there's some precision work that has to go there, and it's more stressful and higher risk because if you screw up the cutting out to do the inlay, then you throw that piece of leather away and start over. But it is now 7 o'clock. I have been on for 3 hours, or almost 3 hours. Rosie will be on in about 15 minutes. And let me see. I am going to be moving over to Rosie's channel after I take a break. So I will still be over there hanging out. And we will pick up tomorrow on some more. I'm not going to video making the first turtle. I'll print it out and I'll probably work on that tonight while I'm talking to Rosie. Chatting in Rosie's room and see what it takes to put that little thing together, because I think he's just going to be adorable. And I can't wait to do that. Sue has me kind of excited there. I got that pattern with Sue in mind. Okay, Free Spirit, I will see you later. Yes, Stacy. And so I'm going to let everybody go. That way we can all get a potty break, grab your drink, grab a snack, and get ready for Rosie's. I posted the link to Rosie's channel, so please check her out, subscribe. So for me, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the thumbs up, and give me a like. I am going to be back on tomorrow. I'm going to try to start streaming at least 3 days a week, somewhere between 3 to 5 days a week, doing leather crafting, just so we can work through some projects together, and have some social time with a low stress environment, and having some chill time. So come back and see me. I do plan on streaming again tomorrow to continue working on this rainbow hat, where we will punch the holes in the leather and start cutting it out. And then after that, I have to make some thread choices on exactly what color thread. I think I'm just going to stitch it in black because I think that'll look sharp. So I will see you all in Rosie's channel, and I'll see you tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful evening, and be safe in this crazy world. Bye for now.